Hi, welcome to Street Priest Ministries. I'm your host, Brother Jay, and we're taking the gospel back to the streets. Today's Friday message is a Modern Day Judas. Today, I uncovered the subject of Judas before, just like many characters in the Bible. Just like you look at a diamond, they have many different facets. You look at a different facet of Judas. Now, I taught on Judas, my brother, jealousy and envy. And that focused obviously on jealousy and envy. Judas, my other brother, Judas, my brother, betrayal of loyalty. And that was the other Judas. So one was on betrayal of loyalty, and one was on jealousy and envy. Now this one's going to be on greed, because Judas was greedy. And the modern day Judases you're looking at behind the pulpits right now. These are the Smiley Sauls, Rufus Laertes, the New Age babies, the big tent circus that you're looking at. These are some greed. And I say rapacious. And I say avaricious. When I say greed on a level that hasn't been seen for his ministry, I don't think in history. I mean, with the multiple jets that they have, multiple Rolls Royces, multiple mansions, greed. Man could only live in one house. Man could only drive one car at a time. Man could only fly in one plane at a time. And the millions, billions, some of them raking. Enough is never enough. Now, Judas was greedy. Now, there is not much, I don't taught on the historical Judas. You have to get Judas, my brother, the teaching. I'm not focusing on that right now. Very little was written about it. But I do teach on his background and his way of thinking and everything. But that's not the focus right now. But Judas was greedy. He followed Jesus. And nobody was starving around Jesus. They called Jesus a glutton. So obviously there was always food around. The man loved his food, and the man loved his wine. They called him a wine. Now wine on a glutton. I love wine too. But Judas was not starving. For him to steal meant he was greedy. And these fat, gargantuan pastors behind the pulpits aren't starving either. A lot of them are very pleasantly plump. Looking like porky petunias behind the pulpit. Now, we're in an age of greed, thanks to Rome. The harlot church over there in Rome with Pentecost. And his spawn of Satan lackeys, the Jesuits, has turned so-called, and I put that in quotes, the Protestant church. There's no protesting anything. Luther would roll over in his grave. You can see what's going on in the name of Protestant. But anyway, these greedy, rapacious swine have so made God's word stench by taking God's word and abusing it that God intended to be sacred, given, and so polluted that anybody with a brain in their head could be turned off. We'll give it to any preacher. Understood. Because of the stigma that they have attached to giving God's way because of their greed. Now, We're going to look at Judas first, and then we're going to cover, and then we're going to do a little skillstration. And I'm going to fill in the, as I always do, fill in the blanks. So let's go to John 13:29. I'm going to lay a little foundation. Turn your Bibles here. John 13:29. Excuse me for a second. We're going to look at what Brother John has to say about Judas. All right, John 13:29. For some of them thought, because Judas had the bag. Now, I just want to make it clear that Judas carried the money bag. He was the treasurer. And carrying the bag, he spent money in route. We're going to get to that next. Greed, like I said, he wasn't losing no weight following Jesus. He didn't need no access. Just like they don't need no access, as I stated earlier. With all the planes, trains, and whatever other toys they got. Well, some of them thought that because Jesus had a bag, that Jesus had said it there. Now, I just want to lay the foundation that he carried the bag. Now go to John 12:6. All right, John 12:6. This he said, not that he cared for the poor now. I'm not going to get deep on this, but you had the woman with the alabaster box. Didn't I teach you? I'll talk on the alabaster box. Get the alabaster box ready. That's not the subject. But she gave her best, very expensive ointment and oil, scented oil of myrrh that was in a very decorative vessel. She broke it and wasted it over Jesus, and he was complaining that he could have got what's in the day's term, $45 would be equivalent to what it was worth back in them days. That's a lot of money. 300 pence. So he's saying, why was this oil not sold for 300 pence and given to the poor? This he said, not that he cared for the poor, and neither do they. The greedy don't care for the poor. All these non-profit organizations that's been raping the poor for years. They want to steal money from their poor. And not even, they're entitled 20% that they're supposed to give. For just management fees, they want to take 80% and give, if that, and give 20% to the poor. Why was not this ointment sold for 300 pence and given to the poor? This he said not that he cared for the poor, but because he was a thief. And they're thieves too. These greedy, rapacious preachers behind the pulpit are thieves and robbers. That's what Jesus said and warned us of. Wolves in sheep's clothing. And they're the thieves and robbers. Don't care of them. They're here to rob the sheep. But because he was a thief, and he had the bag, and bare what was put in it, he skimmed it around, took a cut of everything that was coming through Jesus' bag. Now, Judas' heart wasn't right. He was following Jesus, but he wasn't of Jesus. He had the look of a Christian, but he was really inside a wolf in sheep's clothing. He was of Satan. He was following man, the god of greed. That's what man means. We're going to get on the man down the road. And that's what these ministers are following and preaching behind the pulpit and in greedy congregations. That's given to them. Is following man. They're given to get to. And the preachers are robbing them blind by coaxing in and misquoting scripture and twisting scripture, making God a genie in a bottle to serve their big fat egos and fatten them up on their swine greed. All of them eat out the trough together. These modern day preachers. Jesus would have a field day if he was to come today. He's not teaching dinner thieves and pull out a whip and get the well in the way. He had a lot of whipping to do to clean house today. There's a high 90% of the church, high 90 percentile of the church world is sold out to men. And you can just throw all those television evangelists in there. Big Ten service, they all sent out the same thing. They're getting a teaching on them, sorcerers in the church, the devil in the church, taught them everything. Now, this Judas was greedy. He was a thief. He was stealing money and wasn't no need to take money. He had no needs following Jesus. He didn't have a pure heart. He pretended to follow Jesus while at the same time serving men. He went through the religious motions. And when it came to the twilight of Jesus' life, and he seen the walls closing in on Jesus, then he really showed his true nature. And sold him out of the 30 pieces of silver. Put him on the cross. He was greedy all the way to the end. Jesus called him a son of perdition, a child of hell. And you got a lot of children of hell behind these pulpits. They're children of perdition, children of man. Now let's go to, speaking of Matthew, let's go to Matthew 6:24. For you Judas is out there. Now you don't have to necessarily be you know this message is addressed to greedy pastors behind the pulpit. You got the greedy congregation too that's following. It's also addressed to you. If this is you, and the shoe fits, walk a country mile. You serving God for gain. You're exposed to Matthew 6:24. Get my teaching just did not too long ago. Treasure of the heart. Matthew 6:24. Jesus exposed to Jesus. And so we were. We're going to use Judas exposed. All right, Matthew 6:24. Oops, can't get it right yet. 6:24. No man can serve two masters. Now, I didn't taught on this. I was actually titled the video. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he would hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and man. You hear that, you Judas is out there? Choose one or the other. That's the problem with Christianity. You got too many wishy-washy people. Lukewarm, milk-toast. And Jesus said, if you lukewarm, I'm going to vomit you out my mouth. We got a lot of Christian vomit in the church world. I done told on that mediocrity thing. Get that teaching. Get the teaching. I taught on Jezebel, Satan's soldiers. Well, I talk a lot about mediocrity. Because the children of this world and the ones of the synagogue of Satan are on fire for the devil. They're burning up to fulfill his agenda. And you got milk toast, weak kneed, lazy, lackadaisical, lethargy, lazy boy Christians, thinking they're going to rock their way in their easy chair to heaven. And boy, they're going to have a big rude awakening in the next life. Because there's so many of them now that they fell through the cracks. And they're right there, thinking they arrived. If you arrive, it's all right. Jesus said, if you're lukewarm, I'm going to vomit you out my mouth. No, ain't going to be no Christian vomit in there. So there's only one other place for you to go. Is it there? I suggest you catch up with the children of this world. Children of dark. It's working overtime 24/7 to fulfill their master's agenda. I suggest you get high for Jesus. And start doing the same thing. That's for a special side note message for you lazy Christians out. Now back to the Greek. We'll stay focused. Now we're going to go to 1 Timothy 6:6. This is where we'll finish this up. 1 Timothy 6:6. You got to realize it's a serious business. This is no plaything. This is not a playground for Jesus. This is a battlefield. You have no idea of the warfare that's taking place in the heavens on a daily basis between God and his angels, and Satan and his angels. It's just on a daily basis. You have no idea over the battles probably going on around you and our life, if you truly in Christ. Of our angels working to protect us from Satan's arrows that he's going to him his foot. This is spiritual warfare. I would say resist the devil, and he will flee from it. You got to fight back, resist against fight. I've done a whole plethora of teaching on fighting the devil. You got to look it up. I've done a whole lot. Possessed command is one of the good. Whole lot of teaching on spiritual warfare. Get the Sergeant Salt series. It's called Sergeant Salt. That's all that's about. It's fighting the devil, resisting him. Gotta wake up and get in his war. Like I said earlier, the old clothes run circles. around the average Christian. They're so lame. They're so simple-minded that they're letting witches and warlocks come up in the church from Hollywood and take over the church. And help making their albums number one. That's how far gone spiritual and spiritual discernment out the window with these modern day Christians. Nothing like the Acts 2 Christians. They turned the church world upside down with their faith. Turned the world upside down with their faith. The church world then turned the world upside down. The world today has infiltrated the church and turned it upside down. So you got a worldly church. Hollywood. The sewer pipe of hell with its bond. Do as I will. Is now being preached from the pulpits. The I ams behind the pulpits. You got witches and warlocks. They're all in the synagogue of Satan anyway. Masons. Illuminati Mason occult behind the scenes. That's what you got going on in the church world. But you can't tell Christ church from the world church. What's the difference? Same business on one side of the street, all greedy for gain. Matthew 6:6. But godliness with contentment is great gain. I'll read this slow, further slow. But godliness with contentment is great gain. You want to be God? Be content. That's great gain. Not being greedy for gain. Godliness with contentment is great gain. Not being greedy for great gain. Very subtle difference. For we brought nothing into this world. Any of you bring a checkbook into this world? Jewels, diamonds, gold, silver, anything come through your mom's womb with you? Bank card, statement. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we could carry nothing out. When you die, what do you think you're taking with you? Why don't you ask those pharaohs of Egypt what they took with them? All that treasure, cankered up and sitting there waiting for the tomb raiders to rob. Nothing went with it. It was buried with it, but nothing went with it. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we could carry nothing out. And having food and raiment, let us be there with content. This isn't being preached from the pulpit. What's being preached from the pulpit? Seed of faith, faith working for you, a hodgepodge of Dianetics and Eastern Spiritism, and Alistair Crowleyism thrown in there. Big gumbo. Madame Blavatsky, a little herb sprinkling. Do as thou wilt. Homogenizing of all religions. Madame Blavatsky. Cosmic Christ. Ascended Master. Coming out of the Buddhist camp. So you got a gumbo of religion. And that's all it is. Many paths, many ways. Greed is the number one way. Look out for number one. Me. I. Me, I am a God. That's what they preach. That's the occult, period. They all believe they God. Can't speak of not one star and hang it in the universe. They believe they God. Can't create and speak another. And take your hands and take some clay dirt and form a man and breathe into him, and he become alive, but they think they're God. An intelligent being made from dirt. But you're God. You certain gonna die. God. That's how Satan is deceived. This generation. As they fight tooth and nail, they inhale just one more breath on this earth. Through their technology. Transhuman. 6-6 religion. And having food and raiment, let us be there with content. Is that being preached by the Lord? No. It's I gotta get mine. I need more. Give me. More. Greed. That's what this Judas message is about. It's focused on greed. But they will be rich, fall into temptation and a snare. Read that again, slow. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, a trap of Satan. All these sellouts, the soul they sold to Satan, to be a good ball player, Hollywood actor, the power, fame, whatever down here. Be a famous politician. Whatever you say you sold for scientists. Say you sold for myriad musician. Myriad of others. Ball player. But they that will be rich fall into a temptation and a snare, a trap of the devil, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts. That's why Hollywood is so miserable. It's so miserable. All these rich millionaires, billionaires, on drugs. Got some kind of painkiller trying to anesthetize their mind. For their violent system. Knowing what they did. That's what it's talking about. But they that will be rich fall into a temptation and a snare. It's not being preached from the pulpit. It's being preached. Give to give, and God will make you rich like me. And you'll have your own planes, trains, sports cars, and boats, and whatever else. There's millions in the bank. And God didn't intend for you to be broke. That's not what he's saying here. But they will be rich and fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts. That's what happens when you greed. You can never get enough. Which drown them in destruction and perdition. Takes you right on down to hell. For the love of money, not money. People always misquote this verse. They say money's the root of all you know. For the love of money. The love of money is the root of all evil. People lie for money. People steal for money. People kill for money. People sell their bodies for money. People sell their souls for money. For the love of money, they do all this. For the love of money is the root of all evil. You hear that, you Judases out there? You Judases behind the pulpit, and you Judases in the congregation, supporting Judases behind the pulpit. Which while some converted after, they have erred from the faith. And once you get out of faith, in true Christianity, you enter into sin, the Bible says. You're just going to him, and you're serving them. And Satan got you in a snare, trap. You're in his trap. While they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows, like I said earlier, that's why they're on some type of drug, or alcohol, or whatever, to anesthetize their pain. Because they can't face themselves for selling out, becoming a Judas. Becoming the patient's pig, eating out the trough, becoming greedy for gain. Read this whole verse again. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some have coveted after, and greedy after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. That's why they're depressed. Even a lot of these so-called pastors behind the pulpits own some drugs behind the scenes. Be surprised. Alcohol is loud alcohol. They all have a bottle of booze in the background. When the pay comes to 10